Before we get into this video, I want to let you guys know that anytime I talk about any client's experience, I always have their permission to talk about their experience. It's in my contract whether I can talk about someone's experience, whether I can post about their experience, and whether I can identify them in their experience. As another side note, I just want to explain that yes, we are very aware as encapsulators that placenta encapsulation is not backed by science yet. Placenta encapsulation is only popular because of the benefits that people have reported. So really, it's popular and we do it based on anecdotal evidence, not scientific evidence. We're very aware we don't need the comments about placenta encapsulation not being backed by science. Hi there, my name is Amanda. I am a certified placenta encapsulation expert. I own a company called Birthing Bliss. We are based out of the southeastern area of Massachusetts, more specifically about an hour south of Boston. I recently had a client consultation call. She had mentioned that there really aren't that many videos on YouTube about placenta encapsulation. To be totally fair, I haven't really looked on YouTube to see if there are many videos, but either way, I wanted to kind of narrow in on that and put some information out there for anyone that is curious, anyone that is considering placenta encapsulation, or anyone that is considering becoming a placenta encapsulator. So today's video will just be an overview of placenta encapsulation's benefits, how I got into it, and just a general overview of how it works. I'm gonna have many other videos on here talking about the other options that come with placenta encapsulation, such as placenta art, umbilical cord keepsakes, salves, tinctures, chocolate, stuff like that. That way they're more specific, but this video will be just a general overview, just kind of like an intro into placenta encapsulation. So for a quick background, I got into placenta encapsulation by watching a YouTube video. During the pandemic, when we were on lockdown, I was working from home. I got into a habit of just throwing on a bunch of YouTube videos on my watch later list on YouTube, and one of them just happened to be Kale Lowry's placenta encapsulation that Lancaster Placenta did for her for, I think, her third baby. It was just on in the background. I wasn't really paying attention. I just threw it up there because at the time I was still watching Teen Mom, and for some reason it just captivated me. It sparked something inside of me that I didn't know was there. I thought the video was so well done. I thought the whole process was so cool, the way she explained it, and something inside of me thought, this is awesome. I could do this, so I signed up. Obviously, I did more research in between, and it also led me down the path of doula work. So I am also a certified doula, but at this time, I'm only practicing placenta encapsulation because I do still work full-time. So working full-time during the day and then running my company on the side, it's a lot to do all of that and doula work. Honestly, I've just kind of really loved placenta encapsulation. As far as my schedule goes right now, placenta encapsulation is all I'm doing in regards to my business. So I certified with a company called Best Doulas. They do birth doula, postpartum doula, and placenta encapsulation, and I loved it. So I became certified at the end of 2020, and I've been doing it ever since. And I love my job. I really do love my job. I'm hoping to become a full-time encapsulator and doula worker in the future. It'll be a while, but I love what I do. I love helping people. I love that my clients can get such a specialized experience with placenta encapsulation, and I love knowing that what I do is helping people in their postpartum recovery. So getting into some of that, some of the benefits of placenta encapsulation include just a general improved postpartum recovery. You can heal quicker from pregnancy, labor, and birth. Some other benefits that people have reported are an increase in milk supply. I had one client that had done placenta encapsulation, and she reported that she was producing enough milk for twins, which is incredible. She ended up having an oversupply of milk that she was able to donate back to hospitals for any birthing person that wasn't able to produce enough milk for their baby. Another benefit that's reported is balanced hormone levels. This is probably the biggest one. This is very much in conjunction with the other benefit of preventing postpartum mood disorders, such as postpartum anxiety or postpartum depression. depression. So what happens during labor and birth is your hormones will spike in order to allow you to birth your baby. So once baby and placenta are out, all of those hormones that were contained in your placenta that had spiked to allow you to birth your baby have now plummeted and they're out of your body. The variation and the dramatic spike and drop of hormones can cause a mood disorder or a variation in mood, and that can be immediate. So what placenta encapsulation does is it reintroduces those hormones at a steadier rate, a slower pace, so that you can have those hormones back in your system without immediately introducing them into your body all at the same time, which again would cause a spike in hormones and then of course a drop because you can't sustain those hormone levels. So consuming your placenta can allow for a more balanced hormone level in conjunction with the other benefit of preventing a postpartum mood disorder such as postpartum anxiety and postpartum depression. Another benefit that's reported is reduced stress. Some people find that they're not as stressed when they're taking their placenta pills or however they've chosen to consume their placenta. Another big one that we hear is increased energy. A lot of people will take their placenta pills when they're just feeling kind of tired and down and don't really feel like they have enough energy. They usually report that it's an immediate energy boost. Another benefit of placenta encapsulation that's reported is replenished iron levels. Obviously, when you're giving birth, there's a lot of blood contained in your placenta and you obviously lose that when you give birth. So it does replenish your iron levels. So I will have another video dedicated to the entire process of encapsulating a placenta, but as a general overview, this is how placenta encapsulation works typically. So once we receive your placenta, we will get everything prepped, cleaned, do all of our safety protocols, put on all of our full PPE. We'll take your placenta out of its container. Typically, if you're birthing at a hospital, they'll put it in some sort of biohazard container or bag. We'll take it out of there, make sure the label matches your name because we want the right placenta. We will do any art prints that you have requested. I do a standard art print. Some other encapsulators call them a blood print. It's really up to you. I call it standard just because sometimes the word blood can not really sit well with some people. We also do a colored placenta art print where we use food safe dye and we color your placenta and it makes a really pretty art print. Again, I'm gonna have videos of all of these things split out on my channel so that you can see exactly what those look like. After we do your art prints, we will clean your placenta. We'll get all kinds of excess stuff off there like blood clots. We'll make sure there's no meconium if there was meconium present during your birth. If we can't get all of the meconium rinsed off, we will steam it just to burn off all that meconium. If you have requested your placenta to be steamed, we'll steam it. Then we will cut up your placenta into the thinnest strips we can possibly get. We will dehydrate it anywhere between 12 and 24 hours. My sweet spot is about 16 hours to dehydrate, and our dehydrators dehydrate at 160 degrees Fahrenheit. We dehydrate until your placenta basically breaks like bacon. So we want that crisp, clean break in your placenta. If there's any bend in your placenta at all, that means there's still some moisture present, so we will move to dehydrate longer. Again, up to 24 hours. We'll check it every hour just to see how we're doing on the moisture front. We can't leave any moisture in there because if we do, it could cause some molds to grow in your capsules, so we definitely don't want that. If you requested an umbilical cord keepsake, we will dehydrate the umbilical cord in a specific shape. We just place the umbilical cord on the same trays that we do the rest of your placenta in its specific shape, and it will dehydrate flat. Typically, it's in the shape of a heart. Sometimes we can get the word love if your umbilical cord is long enough. If your umbilical cord is long enough and your baby's name is short enough, we can dehydrate your umbilical cord keepsake in the shape of your baby's name. It's kind of rare. And then once everything is dehydrated, we'll ground your dehydrated placenta into a very fine powder and insert all of that powder into your selected flavors capsules of choice. My company offers an unflavored capsule, which is a vegetarian option, and we do have flavored options such as lime, strawberry, bubblegum, coffee, grape, and berry. We suggest flavored capsules if you've ever taken fish oil pills and you get that fish burp. There's a placenta burp. It basically just tastes like iron. It's a very irony burp. So if you don't really want that, we suggest a flavored option. If you've requested any other products, we'll make those as well, such as a tincture or a salve. Again, I'll have specific videos on that. A tincture is made with an alcohol, at least a 90 proof alcohol, usually vodka, whiskey, or Everclear. A tincture is great because it can relatively live forever, so long as the little piece of dehydrated placenta inside of your tincture doesn't see direct sunlight. You can continue to refill your tincture with your selected 90 proof alcohol and it can virtually live forever. A tincture is really good because you basically just hold some drops of the tincture under your tongue for up to 60 seconds. You swish it around, you swallow it, it gets into your bloodstream a lot quicker than the capsules will. So if you're looking for a quicker benefit of placenta encapsulation, it's good for that. Definitely good for an energy boost because again, it's going to hit you right away. If you order a salve, we basically use about 12 capsules worth of your ground placenta dust, and we kind of mull it all together with a coconut oil, an almond oil, and a shea butter. If you do choose for it to have any sort of scents like lavender or orange, we will add essential oils in there. A salve is good as a general body butter. If your baby has any sort of eczema or dry skin, it's really good as a nipple butter, or if you've had a cesarean, it's really good for your healed cesarean scar. It's also really good for any sort of diaper rash, and in general, just any boo-boos that your baby might get. If you've requested any chocolates, we will make a chocolate in a very similar way. We use some of your placenta dust and we mix it with some melted chocolate, melt it into molds, and you get chocolates. A typical placenta will yield anywhere between 100 and 200 capsules. I know that sounds like a big range, but it really does depend on the size of your placenta, if we needed to freeze it or steam it, which both will decrease the amount of pills that you get because they do tend to shrink the size of the placenta in general. Obviously, if you have a little bit of a larger placenta or larger than average, you're going to get more capsules out of that placenta. Obviously, if you order other products such as a tincture or a salve or some chocolates, it's definitely going to decrease the amount of capsules that you get, but you still are getting those benefits in your tincture and your chocolates when you're consuming them. A standard package will include capsules, art prints, and umbilical cord. My price is about $280 for a standard package. For most encapsulators, definitely in the New England area, it's going to range anywhere between $250 to $300 for a standard package. That's just typical of most encapsulators around here. We do offer a package to prepare your placenta for different options basically. So if you don't want capsules, we can prepare it in the same way. We can dehydrate and ground your placenta for meal consumption to be basically used in recipes. We can also prepare your placenta the same way, dehydrate and ground, for you to spread its ashes. Some people don't want to consume it, but they do want to honor their pregnancy and their birth and their baby by spreading the ashes of the placenta. Some people take their placenta home for a tree burial. In those cases, we don't need to prepare it, we don't need to dehydrate it, we don't need to grind it. And then most encapsulators, like my company, have basically a la carte things that you can get if you don't want pills at all. So a tincture would be about $25. That's for my company. A salve would also be $25. You can get more than one. An umbilical cord keepsake is $20 a la carte if you don't want the pills with it, and art prints would be $15. And these are just the prices for my company, but that's pretty typical in the New England area. Most local encapsulators will pick up your placenta from you, either in the hospital or from your home. During COVID, it was kind of difficult to get into hospitals just to pick up a placenta, so most of my clients during the early stages of COVID brought their placenta home, and I just picked it up from their home. And again, most encapsulators, including myself, will hand deliver all the products to you. We remain in communication with you. Typically, placenta products will be back to you within 2 to 4 days. Again, that's what my company does, but that's pretty typical of other encapsulators. But again, it varies with each person because different products will take different amounts of time to complete. Like a salve has to sit for a few hours and we have to do many things to it, so that will definitely increase the amount of time that it takes for us to process everything. Any products that you get, you will receive suggested dosage and suggested instructions for use. Like with a tincture, you'll need to strain it, and we'll provide all of your supplies to strain it. Our suggested dosage of your placenta capsules will be provided to you, adhered to your bottle as a handout with your products, and we'll also email you a PDF of it just in case you ever need to reprint one, because those handouts can very easily be lost with a newborn, and the adhered labels can sometimes wear off. It's never happened to me, but just in case, I like to provide a PDF of the suggested dosage just in case you need to reprint one ever. Our suggested dosage for your placenta capsules will be 1 to 3 pills, 1 to 3 times a day. We're really going to suggest that you kind of feel it out with your own body because you know your body best, and placenta pills just react differently in every person's body. And of course, you'll also get storage instructions, because after a certain amount of time, about 6 weeks, we might ask that you move to freeze your placenta pills. But most of the time after 6 weeks, people have taken all of their placenta pills, so there's typically not many left after the 6-week mark to freeze. And of course, we're always available to answer any questions that you might have. I think that's about it for the general placenta encapsulation benefits, information. Like I said, we're gonna have many other specific videos dedicated to very specific things like a tincture, salve, chocolates, some of our safety protocols. I do have a video coming of every single step of placenta encapsulation, so you can check out some of those videos on my channel if you're looking for something specific. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I hope to make a video answering any questions that people might have, or just common questions that I get during consultations with people. So that'll be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope you're excited about placenta encapsulation, and I hope you check out some of our other videos.